Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that helps you become your best self. And today we are talking about body confidence versus self esteem, how to strengthen and understand the differences. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on social media. I'm at Sabrina Joy Perozzo on both TikTok and Instagram. So I would love to see and talk to you over there. Please send me an email with any questions, comments, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions that you may have. I do check that like once a week. And so if you ever just want to chit chat too, I am there in the emails. If you look in the show notes below, you'll find those two pieces of information about socials and emails, but you can also sign up for the weekly newsletter that comes out every single Wednesday evening, as well as submitting a topic suggestion anonymously if that is something that you would prefer to do to give a suggestion for the show. You can also use the feedback form that I have there that it's also anonymous for venting anonymously. So if you don't have anyone that's like emotionally available to do that in your life, or there's no one that you trust and you just need to get something off your chest so you can move on with your life, you're welcome to submit a vent session there too. And the other really important thing I want to draw your attention to is RSVPing for the planner journal that is coming out very soon. I have already paid for all of them to be made. The update that I got today is that they were all printed and now they're being bound. And as soon as they're being bound, then they will ship to me, which probably won't happen till next week since we are about to hit the weekend. And then I will be able to next week start pre-sale, which the pre-sale price for the planner journal will be cheaper obviously than a regular sale. And if you need more information all about the planner journal, please follow me on Instagram, or at least just go to my profile and look at the highlight where it says the planner, and it has like all the behind the scenes and all the updates I've been keeping all along in Instagram stories as things have progressed. And there's also a couple, like there's a live video that I go through the whole thing. And starting next week, I'm going to be going through in detail and all of the things. So I'm very excited about the planner journal. I think it's going to help a lot of people. And there are like so many different prompts and a small area for you to actually plan your day and then also do emotional reflections. And it's made for people that want to understand their emotions better but don't want to spend a lot of time journaling about it. And it has so many amazing benefits. So again, if you want to learn more of that, please follow me on Instagram and check stories and all of those things, or you're welcome to send me an email and ask you questions about it. I'm very excited about it. It is the debut product that I have coming out, and it is like a dream come true. But yeah, there's so many other things down in the show notes, so check all those things out. Let's just go ahead and jump into the topic, which again is body confidence versus self esteem, how to strengthen and understand the differences. So I wish I had known these things could be seen separately growing up, because I probably would have focused on improving like only one of them, like putting all of my focus towards one of them sooner rather than later, right? And I wouldn't have believed that I needed to feel both good about my body and value and appreciate myself to have some sort of semblance of accepting myself, feeling good about myself, and holding my head high. And I say that because I know that when someone mentions body confidence, you know what that is. You're just very aware, like, okay, that's like a thing. But a lot of times when people talk about self esteem, like all of those things are wrapped up in there. And it can get very overwhelming and confusing sometimes, because when people say self esteem, you might also think they're talking about self confidence. You might also think they're talking about self worth. You might also think they're talking about body positivity or body confidence or all of these things, right? You think that self confidence is like an umbrella, when reality, all of those things are their own very specific things. And that's why I thought it'd be very interesting to talk about those things separately, because I do believe that you can have great self confidence, or excuse me, self esteem. See, you're just easily flowing, interchanging the words. You can have high self esteem, but low body confidence, and vice versa. So that's why I wanted to go through it, because growing up, I kind of wish that I was able to have, I don't know, the mindset to think of those things differently, and then you can just attack them individually, and then they can come together and be this powerhouse for you to be your best self, which is what we were always striving for, right? And so, you know, again, the concept of thinking these things separately is really helpful, because you will be allowed to see how each side can be built up and worked upon, while also seeing which one is like also naturally higher and easier for you to lean into. Maybe it's easier for you to be have body confidence and not as easy to have self-esteem, or the other way around. And, because as I mentioned before, I never thought of these things separately. And it sounds really silly to say because you're just like, because maybe you have. And if you have, amazing. But I know a lot of people haven't. Like, I know that, like, I cannot be the only one. And that has just thought that self esteem was literally everything, representing everything in regards to any sort of way that we feel about ourselves, when really it's more granular than that, more detailed than that. But yeah, so I thought that, like, together, I needed those things to be together to win at both, like, having self acceptance or confidence at all. And I know that I'm not alone. I know that a lot of other people are just like, oh, self esteem, it's all the same thing. It's not. It's all very broken down, which is why when I do episodes talking specifically about self confidence or self worth, self esteem in the past, I have to be very specific. So, just again, just to kind of like really zone in on understanding these topics and how they relate to you, and how you can use these tips that I'm going to provide for you to make this stronger and contribute to this mindset that will help you just excel and soar in life, right? So let's jump into talking about body confidence first. So, the basic idea of being body confident, according to the research I did, because there's like, everyone will have their own definition, right? Which is fine. It's great to be able to, do research and understand things and like really boil it down to something very simple and easy to understand and digest. And that's what I feel like I do a lot of here as I gather all the research and knowledge of different mental health and mindset tips and kind of boil them down into an easy way for you to understand them and take them with you day to day and share with other people, as opposed to getting so super caught up in the scientific research and really big words that are kind of condescending and overwhelming and too much. So, because it's not as though you couldn't go read, the research yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every single one of you. It's just like, do you want to do that? It doesn't sound fun. So, even when I do it, sometimes I'm like, why did you guys write it like this? So, anyway, back to what I was saying. The basic idea of being body confident is that you feel comfortable in the body you have and don't feel intense pressures to conform to a different body type or have overwhelming shame on what you look like, right? And it's like being comfortable in your body no matter the shape or the size, and believing that your body doesn't define everything about you. And these are definitely like beliefs and thoughts and mindsets that I lacked growing up for the longest time. Even now, I struggle with these things, just to be perfectly honest. I would not say that I would be the person, like the poster child of body confidence. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I think I mentioned that on the only other like body positivity, whateverness episode that I've done of the podcast. I try to stay away from this topic because my feelings are very different from a lot of people's feelings. However, I do follow a lot of like quote unquote body positivity, like influencers online, because it's very interesting to see their perspective and their viewpoint. And a quick tangent is that if online and socials, if you engage in that kind of thing, or even just looking up articles online, websites, whatever it is, if you are only following and listening to people that agree with what you already believe in, I feel like you're doing it wrong, you know? Because how are you supposed to be able to challenge yourself, grow, and learn new things and understand people that are different from you better if you are not engaging? Okay, maybe not engaging. If you're not trying to see and understand what their thoughts and mindsets and perspectives are on different things. It's very important. It's very important. And so even if they believe everything like opposite of you, it's very important for you to, go and listen to them and maybe try to understand why. Maybe ask them questions if you're able to, and really kind of just like a little bit, at least like just below the surface level, dig in and be like, okay, well, why do they believe this way? And how do they come to these conclusions? And how do they live their life? And how does that make them feel? And how different is that from me? And is it that they have the same convictions and strengthen their beliefs that I do? It's just in something totally different. So, anyway, that's like, I did label that as a tangent before I jumped into it. So, there you go. But anyway, so rounding it back, body confidence. So, yeah, I struggle with a lot of these things. I'm sure some of you that are listening right now do struggle with these things. But that is the basic idea of body confidence, which is just, again, you feel comfortable in your body. Doesn't matter what size it is. You appreciate it for what it is, what it does for you day in, day out. And you do not believe that it defines who you are as a person, which is great. And, it's also about knowing that your body doesn't have to be a certain size to accomplish goals or be accepted the same as others. And so there is prejudice with these things, right? Where people say that you can't do this, that, and the other because of what you look like your body shape and all this stuff. And you will never be accepted into these type of things. I feel like a really current, you know, uh, pop culture kind of thing happening right now with that would be like the singer Lizzo, where her body is constantly like trashed on because she's not like super thin and petite and whatever. And so people like trash on that, and because she wears clothes that reveals how her body is shaped differently and at a different size, and what some people would say is the best size or whatever stupid stuff people say. And that's like a good example, a prime example of how people are enacting prejudice on her because she is different from them and their beliefs. So they're pushing back on that because a lot of people would rather live their life living in confirmation bias, which means that when you're going to like look for information or ask questions or get advice from other people, you already in your mind know what you want back. And so you are looking for people that are going to give that back. So it is confirmed the bias that you already have is correct. And unfortunately, a lot of people live that way. And a lot of people live that way and don't even realize it. Isn't that crazy? A lot of people don't even realize that they're out there seeking confirmation bias day in, day out because they don't understand the importance of exposing themselves to different people with different mindsets and different perspectives and different ways of life, even if that doesn't equate to what you believe. And even if you have no intention of changing how you believe or how you live your life, it's just good to know so that it's easier for us to accept people that are different from us, which is what we should be doing anyway, no matter what. And accepting others is very different from agreeing with them. Just so we know, acceptance and agreeance, those are not the same. Those are not the same. I should talk about that. If you think I should talk about that, send me a message anywhere. Email, socials, free text community. I think that's down in the show notes too. Whatever. Let me know. I think that would be interesting. But again, prejudice in these things. So, you are told that you can't do certain things or wear certain things or act a certain way because of your body shape. And if you have, healthy body confidence, you do not conform to those thoughts and ideals. You're just like, no, I'm fine. And yes, there might be certain things in the world that you can't do because of your weight, because it's a safety issue. Like maybe it's like an amusement ride or being able to sit somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. But, and if they're not able to, like, you know, make it more inclusive for that, then you can't do it. And it's not like your fault, right? It's just that not everywhere is as inclusive as maybe you had hoped. And maybe that'll get better over time. And I have like actual deeper thoughts I'm not going to really discuss here in regards to that because I do feel like there are times where, you know, we don't know what's going on. And you might see someone and be like, well, why wouldn't they just like try to change something? And maybe they are and they can't, or maybe they can't because they don't know what to do or whatever the reason is, right? And that's not what we're getting into today. So body confident, you're like, cool, I accept who I am, I'm awesome, I can do whatever I need to do. So I just wanted to quickly go over like 5 ways. There's going to be 5 for body confidence and 5 for self-esteem on how you can work on strengthening body confidence if you struggle with that, which I do struggle with that. I struggle with wanting to be like a certain size all the time. And I am not that size right now, for sure. And I don't think it's necessarily like that I need to be a certain size to do certain things. It's just that I just don't know. I don't feel good in the size that I am right now. And I think that you could also, based on like things that I'm reading online and my own personal experience, is that you can have body confidence, but also want to work towards changing your body. Those things are not like incongruent. They can go together and build together. Because if you're like, oh yeah, I like where I am, like I appreciate and I understand where I am right now, but I know where I want to be, but I'm still going to be accepting and loving of who, like where I am right now while going to that next level, hitting that next goal, journey, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's because actually I came up with a quote unquote crazy affirmation. So if you follow me on socials, you'll have seen those is that you don't have to like what you see in the mirror, but you have to appreciate what you see in the mirror. You have to appreciate that your body carries you throughout the day, every single day, helps you stay alive and breathe and all of these things. So you need to appreciate it even while you're on the journey of bettering it to whatever standard you would like it to go to. So just something to keep in mind. But here are 5 ways that I've come up with for you to strengthen your own personal body confidence. And before I jump into these tips, just to cover all the tips for this one and self esteem, all of this information is based on my own knowledge and research and experience I've gone through and other people's, and I'm able to share. And if you feel like this information does not align with you, then please talk to a therapist or a counselor and they can help you dig a little deeper and understand like what would be better for you to strengthen your body confidence as well as your self-esteem. If not, you can go to your best friend Google and look up these questions and that will lead you to a lot of research as well. Anytime you're searching on Google, try not to get caught up in only staying on the first page. Go like 5 pages deep. I need to like work on doing that better because you never know what's hiding underneath the surface that just has really terrible SEO that doesn't pop to the top. Okay, 5 tips. I feel like I'm just on a roll of tangents to say this today. Here are some ways, 5 ways to strengthen your body confidence. The first one is to separate your self worth from how you feel about how you look. Your self worth is different from how you look. So you are definitely worthy of everything that everyone else is worthy of just for being a human, just for being alive. So that is just that, right? And so just because you are a different body shape than someone else doesn't mean that you are less worthy or even more worthy, right? It goes both ways. You are the same. It doesn't matter. So, however you feel about your body, just because you feel bad about it or you feel like it's not where you want it to be, that's kind of like where I am right now, and I'm working towards a goal of changing it to where I want it to be. I still am not going to hang my hat on whether I am worthy of love and acceptance and respect based upon what I look like, right? Because there's definitely going to be some people that don't like that. That's fine. Not everyone likes everyone in the world, and that's fine. It's just that you can't just define your whole self and like whether you are worthy or not based upon what you look like. So you need to separate those things and realize that your worthiness actually is already automatic in the world because you are alive and you are here. And a lot of other people like to tear people's self-worth down because again, they are uncomfortable with people that are different from them because they think and believe or have been taught or all of those things that they are doing what is right and everyone else is not if they're doing anything different from them. And it makes them uncomfortable. And it also, people can just be lazy too when they don't understand why people are different. They don't want to do the work to better understand that. So separate your self worth from how you feel about how you look because those things do not depend on each other. Number 2, focus on what you are proud of about yourself. So instead of getting all caught up in not liking the way your body looks, focus on what you are proud about. So, are you proud that you were able to complete some sort of specific goal, or maybe you did some great presentation at work, or some sort of awesome task, whatever it is at work? Or maybe you're really proud of how you're raising your family, your kids. You're really proud of, like beating a disease that maybe you had, right? Are you really proud that you saved up to do something, go on vacation, buy something, whatever, put a down payment on a house, whatever. Like, think of something that you are super proud of, focus on those things to really help you feel full and happy and complete and accepting of who you are because of all these things that you have already done that are amazing, that, wasn't dependent necessarily on your body, and that it doesn't have to all revolve around your body. Now, listen, I know that someone's going to be like, oh, well, I'm really proud that I ran, half marathons. So, and that did have to do with my body. Okay, great. Then be proud of those half marathons and realize that, well, okay, your body was the thing that got you through that, as well as your mental strength and your ability to, be disciplined and train and do all those things. So that means you should have body confidence because your body ran you 13.2, right? No, 13.1, excuse me. 13.1 miles. Like, it's intense. I've done it before. It's intense. It's a lot. Okay? It's a lot. So focus on what you're proud about yourself. Like, really hone in on that, because that'll continue to give you the positive energy and the mental strength for you to continue pushing towards maybe where you want your body to be and that goal that you have, as long as it's healthy. And talk to your doctors and people that actually can, determine that for you. But you focus on those things, and it'll give you the strength to push towards those goals of being accepting of your body at whatever place it you would like it to be, based on proper, official, professional advice, right? Okay. Number 3, cut back on comparing yourself to others. You're probably like, Sabrina, easier said than done. I know. I know. Which is why I did a whole episode on how we need to stop comparing ourselves to others. It's tough, like really tough. Like, it's something that I struggle with every single darn day. Okay. So don't think that you're alone. No, I'm here too, dragging on. Like, okay, why? Why am I doing that? Literally, I was looking at, like, I'm coming out with a planner journal. I'm very excited, my first product. But I'm literally on my phone scrolling, watching one of the influencers that I love the most. It's actually very, like, real and vulnerable from what I know. And she's posting about how she started a clothing line, and she's showing all the behind the scenes of taking photos and clothing line, blah, blah, this and that and the other. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, why does my thing matter when she's out here, like, creating a clothing line, right? And it's like, oh, my thing is so dumb. But then it's, I'm falling into that trap of comparison, and it's just not where we need to be. It's not going to make us better. It's not going to strengthen us. It's not going to change anything either. Think about that. Hold firm and fast to that one. How is comparing yourself to someone else going to change anything in that moment? The only thing it's going to change is the amount of belief and confidence that you have in yourself. And that's just going to go down, not going to go up, right? So we should be focused on things that's going to help us, like, ascend up, become our best selves, continue to chase after those things. And comparing ourselves to others is not going to help. It's just not. And it's tough to break this habit. Believe me, I told you I struggle with it every single day, but we need to do it, because it's not helping us. It's really just tearing ourselves down, when in reality we're all in different seasons of life. Even if our lives feel like they look identical, they're not. We're always going through something different and deep and secret that we're not sharing with the world. So we need to understand, cut back on comparing yourselves, which is exactly why I phrase it on cut back as opposed to stop comparing yourself to others, because it sounds very harsh and unattainable. No, just cut back. Even if it's slowly over time, where you catch yourself doing it and you're like, oh, wait, hold on. Let's not do that. That's already a gold star, I'm telling you. Every single tiny morsel of a step and a milestone all matter. Celebrate them all. Number 4, don't limit what you think you can do based on your body. So again, this kind of pulls from like earlier what we were talking about. Don't say that you can't, I don't know, run a half marathon if you weigh this amount, or if you look this way, or whatever. You don't look at the other runners that you know that are running. Okay? I did not let that stop me, because I've always been like a bigger girl, and that's like fine. I'm working on it. Definitely times where I was skinny and in shape, I cling to those moments. But I try really hard not to because I'm just in a different season of life, dealing with different things, dealing with different health problems I did not have before, right? And so it's like, okay, well, it's like a whole totally different life. I can't be like, oh, I long for that when everything was different in my life, like everything. The only constant was like God was there helping us move it along. So, yeah, don't limit what you think you can do based on your body because your body can do amazing things and it can pull through when you have no idea that it's going to pull through because it's there for you. So don't say that you can't do this or that because of this body. No, I'm sure you'll be able to go to our best friend Google and type in like whatever size you are, shape you are, or however you want to describe your body online, doing whatever this thing is, and you will find it. You will find someone that did it. I promise you. You will find someone that did it. And if you don't, by some crazy way, it just means that you could be the first person that does it. And how cool would that be? Seriously. Okay, number 5. Focus on being healthy, not a certain body type and size. So I had to throw this in because it's also an important reminder for me that yes, you want to change your body like I do. If you don't, it's cool, like totally fine. But if you do, then I encourage you to really consider more on being healthy rather than being a certain size. I am struggling with this every single day. But every day that I go and work out, I try to focus on, okay, well, instead of focusing on how this is going to get me into that size pants that I desperately want to be for whatever reason, maybe it's because I don't know, it's more available online. Actually, that probably would be the opposite. I don't know. Anyway, it's like I want to be this certain size and wear this certain size of pant, right? Instead of focusing so hard on that, I'm focusing more of like, oh, look, I'm able to do this specific part of the exercise without breathing so hard. It's become a little bit easier. I'm able to go a little bit longer without feeling totally wiped out, right? I was able to do more squats today. I was able to run farther today. I was able to lift this amount of weight today. I was able to jog out of the saddle on your stationary bike longer, faster. Okay. So focus on being healthy and not a certain body type and size because that'll help you to like not be so caught up in how you need to be a certain body type and feeling shameful about what you look like. It'll be more like, okay, well, I'm just doing things to be healthy and I'm eating different things to be healthy. And, the shape that I want will come along with those things, but not if I wholly only focus on that. I got to focus on the overall goal of just being healthy so I can be alive on this planet with the people that love me, that surround me as long as possible. Okay, so let's shift into, I know I was like kind of like rushing through that because I was like, oh my goodness, we still have a whole other side of this podcast to talk about. So that was body confidence. Let's shift now and move on to talking about self-esteem. Self-esteem is based in how you value and appreciate yourself. And I have to note, this is different than self confidence, which is based in how much you believe in your skills, your abilities, and the experiences to carry you through life. Okay. So one of them is very like, what can I do? Do I believe in what I can do? And then the other one's like, do I believe in who I am and what I can provide, right? What am I in the world? What can I do in the world? Okay. Self esteem. What am I in the world? Self confidence. What can I do in the world? So when you think about valuing and appreciating yourself, you are focusing on the health of your self-worth. And if you see yourself as equal to others, it's about the opinions and beliefs you have about yourself, right? It's just like really, really super deep and mental, okay? And it can feel really difficult to change the way that you think about yourself because of past experiences and other judgments and opinions that you have and anything that went wrong that now you're again holding more shame about. But it is possible if you're able to separate what is actually true and what is assumed or fabricated, because that means it kind of leads back to an episode that I did, I don't know, maybe a month ago by now, or maybe a little bit longer, not that far back, about how our minds lie to us. We get so many things filtered in every single day into our mind, and sometimes we don't always flush out things that are lies or are not true or don't pertain to us. And so we cling to those things or we cling to the judgments and opinions, which again are assumptions or lies or just things that aren't true because they're based on someone else's perception and viewpoint. We cling to those things and then start telling ourselves lies about ourselves based on those things that aren't true, right? And so we need to be able to separate what is actually true and factual from what is not. It's very important for self esteem. So, here are some ways, again, 5, on how you can strengthen your self esteem. Number 1 is identify what you're good at. So, this is very similar to in body confidence, where I was like, focus on what you're proud of yourself about. But for this, identify what you're good at. So, for me, I would say, okay, I'm really good at proofreading. I know that sounds really random, but it's because it was something that I did today. And I did earlier in the week. And I'm really good at that. Like, I'm really good. Like, before I worked for my husband's company, I worked for his best friend's company, doing a totally different service and business. But as my husband and his business partner started their business, they needed someone to proofread their contracts and a lot of like print media and stuff that they were doing. And I was like, oh, I love that. You know, I enjoy grammar, I enjoy reading, I'm able to like really see like areas with issues and that need edits. And so they paid me per documents, like per page of document, to proofread the documents. And then now that I actually work for the company, I still do it. I just do under like the role that I have because I actually enjoy it. And I know that I'm good at it because I'm able to just like very quickly go through and like, you know, delineate like what needs to change, what's fine, and then also find supporting evidence online based on like grammar and written literature and things like that on why things need to change when someone doesn't want to believe that this is correct and this is not. So that would be something that I would identify that I am good at, and it will give my self-esteem a little bit boost about how, okay, yeah, I am valued. I'm valued in that task and valued in that ability to help out with that, right? And okay, yeah, that actually helps to pump me up and appreciate myself more because I am really good at that thing. And then you find something else. And so I guess the next thing would be like, okay, well, I'm really good at problem solving and I enjoy it thoroughly. And so just continue to go through and identify things that you are good at, that you know that you're like, yes, without a shadow of a doubt, I am good at that. And I'm not saying you have to be the best, right? Or anywhere near the top. If you're just like, yeah, I'm just good at that. I'm just good at that. Then identify it and be like, I am good at this thing. And you're like, and then you start to like really increase the belief and understanding and acceptance of who you are and what you are capable of, right? Not like, and then it kind of can like slope down into like self-confidence of like, okay, yeah, you know, I believe that I am really good at proofreading, which means I have the confidence to go and proofread this many documents or do this and that for this company or create it into a whole business or whatever, right? It would just like slip down into like self-confidence, and then I would be on my way. So identify what you're good at. Number 2 is to learn, I'm really bad at this, learn to accept compliments. I don't remember. I do not think that I've done an episode on how to accept compliments. I think I've thought about it many times, and it always seems silly to me. But maybe not. So let me know. But we need to learn to accept compliments. I suck at this. I'm not. Anytime someone's like, oh, like I've gotten better, but I would say 50-50 at this point is that someone will give me a compliment. I'll be like, oh, thank you. And other times they'll be like, give me a compliment, and then I'll be like, oh, don't worry, like I got it here, or I didn't spend that much money on it, or I didn't take that much time, or oh no, it's not that big of a deal, right? Just try to really just like shove it off and be like, no, that's not that big of a deal. When they went out of their way to give you a compliment, and before you jump down my throat and you're like, hey, but how do we know that they weren't giving a compliment, this, that, and the reason, and all these malicious, like hidden reasons that we're assuming are happening? We don't. We don't. And believe me, I used to jump down that rabbit hole all of the time. But instead of going down the rabbit hole of thinking they only said something because of this or that, just take it in stride and move on. Just be like, oh my gosh, they told me that I have a really pretty dress today. And even if they didn't mean it, let's say someone saw you at the grocery store and they're like, oh, pretty dress. And you didn't really catch any sarcasm or anything. And let's say that they actually did mean it in like sarcastically and they actually were just being rude on purpose. You don't know that. They've like moved on. They're like 2 aisles down at the grocery store. You're doing your shopping, they're doing theirs. They told you have a cute dress on. You're like, yeah, thank you. I have a cute dress or a cute top or white pants or whatever you're wearing. So even if they meant it maliciously, like just like take it and move on with your day, right? And just feel good about that. You're like, okay, they went out of their way. Because again, you may never know if they meant it any other way than how they said it. And even if you do find out later, because maybe they're making fun of you or something, where they're like, oh, let's tell her she has a cute shirt, and then we'll snicker behind her back. Okay, well, their plan to embarrass you, just don't let it work. Just be like, oh, well, I thought you meant it. And so I took it like you meant it. And so I feel good about it. And they're like, oh, no, we were just kidding. We're just trying to make you feel good. And then, like, you know, really not. And it's just like, okay. You know what I mean? It's just dumb. Like when you actually think it through that way, it's just like, really? That's the way you chose to bully me today, is by giving me a compliment and then snickering about how it was a lie that you made me believe, or that make you, that I chose to believe. Like, who cares? Do something else. So let's all learn to accept compliments and not make excuses for the thing that people are complimenting us on, because people go out of their way to give compliments. You don't have to. You don't have to, but they do. Number 3, shift your self-talk from self-cruelty to self-compassion. Shift your self-talk from self-cruelty to self-compassion. So instead of crapping on yourself and telling yourself negative things and being mean to yourself and saying all these negative things, start being more compassionate and accepting and being like, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe I want to call myself an idiot for not remembering that person's name, but really, okay, I had a day where I just forgot the name. That's fine. People forget things. It's not a crime. It might have felt embarrassing, but I apologized and they were fine. Or even if they weren't fine, that's fine. I made a mistake. And if they decided to take it that way, that's the way they decided to take it. But I'm going to go easy on myself and be like, hey, it's fine. I'm going to love on myself, and maybe I'll find a mnemonic way for me to remember their name if I have to see them again. It's fine. Just shift from more positive or even neutral, just less self cruelty, more self compassion, loving, accepting, understanding of what you're going through, what's going on, how you're living your life, what you're doing, so that you can still, despite bad things happening, value and appreciate who you are and what you're doing. Number 4, I'm trying to rush through so this episode isn't super duper long. Number 4 is focus on what you can change in your life. A lot of times our self-worth can be affected deeply by what we want to change and that we have no power to change, right? It's like, it's just out of our hands, no matter what it is. And we feel like whatever's happening is going to tear down the value of who we are and how we can accept ourselves and how we will see ourselves, and all of these things. But there's everything. There's everything we cannot control outside of ourselves. We can only control ourselves. So just focus on what you can change, right? So if you feel like it's going to be out of your control whether or not you get a promotion or whatever at work, or some sort of situation at work, and your value hangs on that, don't focus on that. Focus on what you can change. So maybe you felt like you didn't do a good enough job explaining this or doing this in the presentation. Okay, find a way to get better at it, right? Or find a way for you to learn a new topic that maybe you should have learned, or whatever it is. Like, focus on what you actually can change as opposed to what you can't, because always, if you focus on what you can't, you'll never feel good about yourself, because you always think that you're failing, or you're not doing the right thing, or that everything's going wrong because of you, or whatever the situation is. Okay? Focus on what you can change in your life. And number 5, the last one for self-esteem and in this whole podcast, is don't live in the past with mistakes and failures and unforgiveness. If you live in the past with all the mistakes that you've made and the failures, which, as I always say, mistakes and failures are the best, the greatest learning lessons of your life. But if we live in the past with those mistakes and failures and not forgiving ourselves for doing things that we regret doing, then we will have low self-esteem and not value or appreciate ourselves, because we're so focused on what didn't go right and punishing ourselves for that, as opposed to focusing on what has gone right and what is going right in the journey that we're on right now, and leaving the past in the past. So we cannot harp on the past. We cannot live in the past. If we live in the past, we will never go towards the future. We'll never achieve or reach the end point of the things that we aspire to. You just won't. You're holding yourself captive in a place that will go nowhere. It's extinct. It's in the history books. It's gone. Okay? You just can't live in the past. Nothing will change if you live in the past. Nothing, except for how crappy you feel. That'll continue to increase. So don't live in the past with mistakes, failures, and unforgiveness. Forgive yourself of whatever things that you've done that feel shameful and regrettable. Accept the mistakes and failures that you have gone through. Use those as learning lessons towards the future. And just continue on becoming your best self. Becoming your best self does not mean that there will not be ups and downs. You will not fall on your face and have problems. It just means that you're continuing to learn and grow and evolve into ever evolve, like always evolving into this best version of yourself all of the time. That's what that means. So that's it. That's all I have to say about body confidence versus self-esteem and how to strengthen and understand the differences between those two things. So thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again with me, Sabrina. Thank you for downloading, listening, sharing the show, and I please hope that you do both. And if you have time, you could rate the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or however you listen to the show. That really helps me. That'd be fantastic. And share it with people. I already said that. Check the show notes below. Again, for RSVPing for the planner journal, which does not mean you're making a financial commitment. You're just getting on the list to be the first person to buy it if you are interested in it. After learning about it, follow me on social media on at Sabrina Joy Perozo on TikTok and Instagram. Send me an email. Sign up for the weekly newsletter that comes out every Wednesday evening. Sign up for the free text community. All the things. Just check all the show notes. But until next time, have a good one, you guys. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.